I will do an introduction to the team that is present. That is from Traction School of Governance, as well as HRMPEB. So we'll start with the Traction School of Governance. So in our midst, we have Beryl Otieno, who just prayed. So Beryl is our head of marketing and development. We have Peter Manguro, who is our admin. We also have Hilda Kemani, who is also part of the admin. We also have Gladys Gadoni. Gladys is also part of the marketing team. So I'm Erick Omumia. So I'm the head of programs, Traction School of Governance. So I want to welcome you all for this webinar, anticipating that it will be of great help as well as aspirations to you. Other than that, I would want also to introduce Peter Manguro, who is our admin, to do the opening remarks. Peter. Yes, we can hear you, Peter. So thank you, Peter. So we jump straight to it. So we have with us our guest for the session. That is Dr. Leonard Kiragu. So Dr. Leonard Kiragu is the Principal Examinations Administration Officer at HRMPEB. So the topic for the day is navigating workforce transformation, the strategic role of HR professionals. So Daktari will do a presentation on that and discuss with us also on some of the importances, the essentials required for us, for you to be part of undergoing the CHRP course and the importances as well. So karibu sana Daktari.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning, Daktari.
Thank you. As a matter of introduction, my name is Dr. Leonard Kiragu. I am the Principal Examination Administration Officer at the Human Resource Management Professional Examination Board. And I also serve as the Recognition of Prior Learning Coordinator, or the RPL. So thank you for this opportunity to share some insights on organizational transformation and the role of HR in all this. And with your permission, allow me to share the slides. Then from there, we proceed. Just give me a minute, which I share.
It's okay, Daktari. So as Daktari shares, we'll have the question and answers session. So you can have your questions in the chat box as we continue, or you can also ask after the session. Thank you.
What are we sharing? What I want to share PowerPoint. Muted the mic. Good morning once again.
Good morning, Daktari. Yes, we can see your screen.
You can see the screen, eh?
Yes.
I think good. So let's go straight to the role of strategic human resource management in organizational transformation. And here we are talking about organizational transformation. And in organizational transformation, these are the changes that the organization goes through in the present times. We usually say that change is dynamic. Change is also inevitable. And what brings about transformation in the organization? What brings about change in the organization? Now, change is brought about when the organization is expanding. Businesses need to expand. Businesses need to explore new markets. Businesses need to diversify their product lines. Change is not only brought about by the positive environment, by the factors that favor the business. Sometimes there is economic depression. And when there is an economic depression, then again, there will be need to change, or the organization will need now to transform. This is where, again, we'll have restructuring. This is where we have restructuring. And apart from that, in public sector, especially the public organizations that are relying on the exchequer for funding, sometimes they will receive less funding. And when you have less funding from the exchequer, again, a transformation or change becomes inevitable. So there are so many issues that can make or that can trigger change in the organization. Now, what is the role of strategic human resource management in organizational transformation? When the organization is undergoing through this transformation, now the fundamental question that remains is, what is the strategic role of the HR? The strategic role of HR in this transformation is basically to align the organization's strategic goals, to align the HR functions with the overall organizational strategic goals. Because, for example, if the organization is expanding, or it has established a new product line, the question that the HR should ask is, do we have enough people? Do we have competent people who will be able to take part in this expansion? Do we have the expertise that is required to participate or to develop this new product that the organization has come up with? So basically, the role of HR is to align now the functions of HR with the overall organizational or strategy. We know that the strategic decisions are laid down by the top level management and the board of directors. Then it is cascaded downwards to the HR. And so the HR in transformation ensures that the employees have the right skills and competencies in case of expansion and diversification. But then again, in case where there is restructuring, where the HR, or rather where the organization has to come up with a lean staff or has to lay off, then again it's the role of the HR to know that it has maintained the right skills of the right number, and those who are excess, unfortunately, may need to be laid off. So basically, when it comes to expansion, the HR has to get or to recruit suitable employees who will come up with the new skills that are going to cope with the organization growth, with the organization expansion, with the organization diversification. Then the other issue is we will not only recruit, but we also retain the talents. Then again, in transformation, the role of HR again is to train and develop employees with the new skills that are required in the changing environment, with the new skills that are required in the expansion programs, in the diversification programs. Then the culture also needs to change. When there is a transformation, again, the culture of the organization has to change. It is the role of the HR to promote a culture that will support the overall organizational transformation, a culture that is going to encourage innovation, a culture that is going to embrace continuous improvement. Actually, in Japan, this continuous improvement is what we call Kaizen. Kaizen, which means that a culture of continuous improvement. Every time we need to have a culture that is making us better. And I think, if I'm not wrong, the Salaries SRC, Salaries and Remuneration Commission, is in the process of rolling out Kaizen in all the public organizations. And it starts with the public organizations, then it trickles down to the private organizations. And in this Kaizen, then there is organizations are being encouraged to continuously improve. Then again, in transformation, we need effective leadership. There is an author who said that the direction of an organization is greatly influenced by the kind of leadership. So as a leader in a transformation or during transformation, you need to be effective. You need to inspire. You need to guide. You need to manage teams through the change and towards organizational performance. You need to create a synergy amongst all the employees to make sure that they are all targeting towards organizational performance and improvement of organizational performance. Then, in this transformation, you also need to engage your employees. You don't need to leave your employees in any stage of transformation. So if there are strategies that are going to be laid, then make sure that the employees are engaged in coming up with these strategies, because if the employees are engaged in formulating the strategies that are required in transformation, then they are going to embrace the change. Ensure that no one is left behind. Ensure that everybody is incorporated in the organization. And it's also the role of HR to ensure that all the departments and the people in these departments move forward together in this change. Then, as I wind up, in performance management and the productivity, then the HR department should set departmental and individual goals that aligns with the overall organizational goals. In performance management, then all the employees should be involved in coming up with setting targets. And then these targets, individual targets, will translate to departmental targets. And then from departmental targets to organizational targets that are going to ensure that there is improvement in the organizational performance. Now, earlier on, or even before now, I dive into HRMPEB, who we are and why we exist. In conclusion, in strategic role of HR in transformation, I'll conclude by saying that you need to align all the functions of HR to the overall organizational strategy. So the work of the HR is to monitor, to be kept abreast in what is happening in the management, in the top level management, then cascade those strategies in the HR department. So all the functions of HR needs to be aligned. Then, in the introduction, I had said that I work with the Human Resource Management Professionals Examination Board, which is a state corporation under the Ministry of Public Service, and the HRMPEB exists to develop curricula in HR, to examine HR professionals, and finally, to gazette and certify the HR professionals in the country. Now, our flagship program at the Human Resource Management Professionals Examination Board is the Certified Human Resource Professional course, or what is called the CHRP. Now, about a month ago, there was a circular from the Ministry of Public Service that directed that all the HR professionals in the public service and also in the private sector that are certified, that they become certified or they acquire the Certified Human Resource Professionals qualification. And it is mandatory. I think our regulator, the Institute of Human Resource Management, has taken it seriously that everyone needs to be certified. Then, I want to believe that most of the attendants are in HR. I keep on saying that if you are in HR or you are aspiring to be in HR, the only good thing to do, the best thing to do, is just to align yourself with the requirements of the profession. Now, the Certified Human Resource Professional course, which is offered by HRMPEB, it has 3 examination series. We do exams in April. We also do exams in August, and we also offer exams in November and December. Then we have now one curriculum. Some years back, the Human Resource Examination Board revised its curriculum, and there has been transition from the old curriculum to the revised curriculum. Now, the last time the old curriculum was done was in April 2026, last examination series. In August 2026, the old curriculum will no longer be on offer. So it means that every student who had been enrolled in the old curriculum has been transitioned to the revised curriculum, and now we are in the era of the revised curriculum. Now, the revised curriculum has 19 units, and out of these 19 units, you can be exempted up to a maximum of 9 units on merit basis. And then if you can see my screen, the revised curriculum is grouped into part 1, Part 2, Part 3. Part 1, we have Section 1 and Section 2. And what is on the screen are the various units in Section 1 and Section 2. Now, you can get exemptions in Section 1 and Section 2, and also in Section 3. Also in Section 3 and 4, provided that we don't exceed the maximum number of units that can be exempted, which is 9 units. And this is a requirement from our regulator, who is the Kenya National Qualification Authority. Then we move on to Part 3. Part 3, we have 2 sections, Section 5 and Section 6. Now, all the subjects, all the units in Section 5 and Section 6 are a must to do. They are compulsory because these are the core areas that HR should be competent in. Then when you are booking your exams, you can book up to a maximum of 6 units. So it means that the CHRP course, if you have not been exempted, then it is a course that you can pursue within 1 year. Because in April, if you take 6 units, August 6 units, then November you take some other 6 units, and you can be allowed to sit for 7 units if the 7th unit is industry-based research. So if you are starting or you are aspiring to start the CHRP without any exemption, then you can take 1 year, assuming that you will not be referred or you will not be required to resit any of the exams. Then, apart from the CHRP, we also offer some other courses. That is the curriculum or CBET, curriculum-based education and training in certificate level and the diploma level. Now, in diploma level, we need a minimum of a C-. If you scored a D+ and above, then you qualify for the craft certificate course, then you progress. Then as I wind up, the qualification of the CHRP is a C+ at KCSE, but if you scored less than C+, then you need to demonstrate a progression. You need to have done a diploma in a business-related course. Then from there, you can be allowed to register for the CHRP. Then, once we are done with the CHRP course, then you are gazetted in the Kenya Gazette, and then we hold an annual certification ceremony, usually in the month of October, where now you are certified, where you take an oath that you agree to abide with the requirements of the HR profession, and that you will have all the professional ethics, you will observe all the professional ethics in HR, and then thereafter, you are issued with your certificates and transcripts. Then finally, as I wind up, for the sake, again, of those who are aspiring to pursue CHRP, it's also important to ask ourselves, why are we doing the CHRP? What are some of the careers in HR? Now, one of the careers you can pursue in HR is what we call HR generalist. A HR generalist. Now, HR generalist is where you are employed as a human resource professional in an organization, and you perform all the functions of HR in that organization, starting from recruitment, compensation, preparing the payrolls, organizing for trainings, appraising employees, job analysis, HR planning. You execute all those functions without specializing. Then another area you can venture in HR is HR consultancy. Now in HR consultancy is where you're engaged by organization, maybe to do some training, maybe to do some training, maybe to help them come up with their payroll or their performance targets, etc. So you are engaged on part-time basis by the organization. Then number 3, you can also become a HR researcher. There is a lot of research in HR, starting with the employees' satisfaction surveys. You can be engaged by an organization to do their employee satisfaction survey. So you administer the questionnaires, the tools of collecting your data, you analyze the data, then you present the data to the management of that organization. And finally, you can also be engaged in HR and become a HR academic. HR academic is also another area where basically you're engaged in teaching, researching HR, and adding to the existing body of knowledge in the field of HR. Otherwise, thank you so much, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Daktari, for that insightful presentation. You informed that you have a meeting at 11. Yes, so any question to Daktari so that we move to the next part, because the Daktari might be leaving anytime. So we have a question in the chat box. From Maurice, how can students begin positioning themselves as a strategic HR professionals before graduation? So Daktari, you're in a position to answer that one. How can students begin positioning themselves as a strategic HR professionals before graduation? Daktari?
Yeah, thank you so much. The way a student can align himself with the strategic HR is to keep abreast of what is happening in the organizations, in the country. The role of a student in strategic HR is to monitor the environment and to see the changes that are happening. So that now, when you go to the formal organization, either to practice as a HR or in consultancy, then you are aware of what is happening in the environment, because we are saying that what is happening in the environment will affect the operations of the HRs and the organizations. Thank you.
Thank you, Daktari. I hope that answers that. Maurice is another question. Are there flexible payment plans or financing options available for students pursuing CHRP? So, Maurice, maybe is this in relation to exams, or is it in relation to fees, the training fees for Traction School of Governance? Because if it's in relation to exams, HRMPEB, Daktari will be able to answer. If it's in relation to classes, then Traction School of Governance will be able to answer that one. So unless it's an exam, okay. So the exam part, Daktari can answer, and then for the institutions part, we'll be able to answer from our end. So are there flexible payment plans or financing options available for students pursuing CHRP? In the exams perspective, Daktari will be able to answer for exams at the institution.
Thank you for that question. We are having some discussion with the HELB, the Higher Education Loans Board, where the students can be financed by HELB to help them pay the examinations fees. Otherwise, as that it stands now, our payment is very friendly because we usually pay a unit. The lower level units, we charge 2,000. Part 3, we charge 3,000. And part 2, we charge 3,000 per unit. And the higher level units, we charge 4,500. And the fees payable depends on the number of units that you are undertaking. But however, once we formalize that arrangement with the HELB, then we are going to communicate to our various stakeholders. Thank you.
Thank you, Daktari. Are the CHRP classes plus exams purely online? So exams, are there online exams, Daktari? For CHRP, we'll be able to answer for classes from our end.
So thank you again for that question. Now, currently, we don't have online exams for CHRP. What we are required to do, you can, maybe some institutions are allowing you to study online, but the examination is physical. Must be physical. Choose your nearest examination center. And currently, we are having over 14 examination centers spread across Kenya. So you choose which is near you, then you appear for the exam physically. Thank you.
Thank you, Daktari, for that. I hope that answers that. So our team will be able to answer those that touch on the institution as far as classes are concerned. So we have a question from Dorothy asking, with CS qualification, will you still be given only 9 exemptions? So, Daktari, maybe do you have a platform for that for CS practitioners?
Thank you. Currently, if you have CS qualification or any other qualification, unfortunately, we can only offer up to 9 exemptions. And I said that, there was a time in the old curriculum we could exempt as many units as possible. But then our regulator, who is the Kenya National Qualification Authority, directed that we can only offer up to 49% exemptions, meaning that our students need to do 50 plus 1 units. And when we have 19 units, you can only give up to 9, and then the students need to sit for 10. So that's a requirement from KNQA. So it's not possible to offer more than 9 exemptions, even if you have the CS qualification. Thank you.
Thank you, Daktari, for that. Yes, we have the classes question. Janet, that one will be able to answer during our session. Then Maurice, you mentioned only 4 areas which one can pursue. Are there any others? Daktari, are there any other areas?
Yeah, there are so many areas where you can specialize or you can venture in terms of careers. It is not only limited to academics, because when you go to big companies, big corporations, then you specialize in an area. Some people have only specialized in payroll. Others have specialized in training. Others have specialized in performance management. Others have specialized in recruitment. So the area of specialization depends on the organization, but in small organizations is where you have the generalist, where you perform all the functions. And then because the environment is dynamic, is changing, then it's giving opportunities to many other areas where a HR practitioner can venture into. So it's not limited to the 4 areas. Thank you.
Thank you, Daktari. So any question for HRMPEB, any question for Daktari based on the presentation he has done? You can see he has very few minutes to leave us, since he has another engagement at 11. So any burning question, you can raise your hand to Daktari. Then we move to the TSGB team. So as far as time is concerned, we are actually on course. Okay, so if there's no any other burning question to Daktari HRMPEB, I would want to appreciate your presence and taking your time, Daktari, to be part of this webinar, and also coming up with quite, actually I can say, motivating and insightful presentation. So I hope you'll be able to share the same so that we share with the team. Daktari, kind request, so that maybe they can go through it at their comfort. Yes, Daktari?
Yeah. So thank you also for giving me the opportunity to share the knowledge and to share the requirements of the CHRP. As a parting shots, I would encourage all the participants that they venture into HR. HR is a good field. I have interacted with the HRs in this country, and I can confidently say that you're in the right direction. Feel proud of the career that you have taken. And then finally, I'm going to share the slides with instruction, so that now again they can share, they can cascade to you. So otherwise, thank you so much. May God bless you. May God keep you. May God protect you. May God love you all. Asante sana from Human Resource Professionals Examination Board.
Thank you so much, Daktari. We'll keep in touch. Have a great day ahead. God bless as well. Okay. Sawa sawa. So we jump the ships to now Traction School of Governance. We'll make it brief. And yes, I see there are a lot of questions that have been asked touching on the institution. Yes. So let's move to the TSGB team so we can have remarks from Beryl and then Gadoni. So Beryl, head of marketing, and then we'll be able to answer questions touching on classes as well. So, Beryl. Thank you, Beryl. We can have Gladys discussing in a nutshell on the courses, and then we move to the next. Gladys. Okay, thank you, Gladys, for that. So, who else? Yes, Hilda. So, Hilda, award to the team. Hilda, administration team, award to the team. Okay, so I think Hilda is not around. So yes, so other than Hilda, okay, so maybe I can add a point or two, being that you are HR professionals. We also have, other than CHRP that we offer, we also have HR analytics, which aligns with your area of specialization on the aspect of technology advancements. It's appropriate that you also align CHRP as a profession, as well as aligning it or combining it with the ICT. So we also do the same, which is a short course at the institution. Yeah, so Gladys has shared our contacts, has shared for you the platforms you can reach us. You can also follow our social platforms as well. Instagram, Traction School of Governance, Facebook, Traction School of Governance, and business, TikTok, traction, school. Yes. There's a lecturer for CHRP that had joined. Okay, so as we plan, we anticipate for maybe he's having a challenge. We can now answer the questions touching on classes. So there was a question that was touching on are there flexible payment plans or options available for CHRP for those pursuing CHRP? Based as far as traction school is concerned, we can have that response. So Peter can assist on that. Maybe the payment plans. Peter?
Erick, for the payment plans, we have flexible payment plans. Upon enrollment, you can make a payment of up to 60%. Then the rest you can clear in like a month after enrollment.
Thank you, Peter. Yes, HRP classes purely online. Yes, for classes, hours are purely online. So that is from 5:30 in the evening to 9:45 in the evening, depending on the timetable. So our classes are 100% virtual. So I think that answers Sanya's question. Dorothy, that one was answered. So Janet, I have applied for the classes, but I'm still waiting to be enrolled. Admissions team, maybe Peter, you can assist with that. Janet Jeruto.
Okay, thank you for that, Erick. So Janet, maybe you can cite chat us on our contacts so that you can look, check and see when you apply it, then we'll be able to handle that.
Thank you, Peter. So you can cite chat us using the contacts shared that have been pinned in the messages. Yes, we have Karen Adisa who has raised her hand. Karen, karibu sana, you can ask your question.
Thank you so much, moderator. I've tried to look for the chat board at my screen, but I haven't traced it. So if you may allow maybe to say something before I ask a question. My name is CHRP Adisa Karen, and I've personally benefited with CHRP from HRMPEB. So what I actually want to pass across is to encourage those that are aspiring to take the units. And another thing is that if you try to look at what is happening currently, it is a requirement. So I would like to encourage them to, even if you have processed waiting for an admission, don't lose hope. Yeah, that is my word. And then there is a question I want to ask Daktari. He mentioned about the cadres, different cadres of HR. He mentioned about the HR researcher, HR consultant, and HR academia. I would wish to maybe know the requirements. If one wants to become a HR consultant or a researcher, what are the requirements? Daktari, kindly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen, for that. Daktari has left. Yes, he had a meeting at 11. Okay. But yes, we'll be able to link you so that you can ask the question to him directly, so that he can be able to guide. So no worries about that. I'll be able to link you with him so that you get guidance on that. Sawa sawa. Yes, and thank you also for the motivation that actually it's a plus for you to be part of CHRP profession. So other than that, we have another, is there any other question? No, I don't think so. So any question from the team that is pending? So Gerald, are you in a position to talk?
Yes, Eric, I'm in a position now.
So Gerald is one of our HR, he's actually CHRP Gerald. He's one of our CHRP lecturers, so you can have a word with the team. Gerald?
Okay, thank you very much, Eric. First, I'll start by apologizing for I have been having technical challenges. Network, now niko mashambani. Sasa now the network, I had a lot of network problems, but whatever you have discussed, I have really have been very attentive to hear it, and it is a bit it is motivating. So I really appreciate, and I also encourage. We better encourage most of the students to join the CHRP class at Traction. Thank you.
Thank you, Gerald. Is there any other pending issue? Any other question from the team? Any other pending question from the team? Okay. So if there's nothing else pending, we can have closing remarks. Actually, it's good when we finish early so that, yeah, so you can have closing remarks. Our lines are open.